This lesson is about the IELTS speaking test. This is in 3 parts. The first part involves an introduction and interview with the examiner and lasts approximately 4 to 5 minutes. The second part is called an individual long term, where you're given a topic to prepare for and lasts total 3 to 4 minutes. And the final part is a two-way discussion with the examiner and lasts approximately 4 to 5 minutes. So in all, the IELTS speaking test lasts 11 to 14 minutes. As mentioned, the first part is an introduction and an interview. So the examiner will ask you general questions. You have to introduce yourself, telling them where you come from, talking about yourself and your family, perhaps your home. You may be asked about your country or your city, whether you're working, whether you're studying, what interests you, what hobbies you have. These are the general questions that we usually have when we meet someone. So these should be familiar to you, and it helps to relax you before we get into the second and third stages of the speaking test. As mentioned before, the second part is called the individual long term and lasts approximately 3 to 4 minutes. Here you're given a card outlining a particular topic and asked to talk about the topic for 1 to 2 minutes. You're given 1 minute to prepare, and you may make notes if you wish. So you should be prepared to describe people, places or events and explain their significance to you. For example, if you were asked a question about eating and food, you might be asked to describe a special occasion when you had a really enjoyable meal. You should be able to say what the occasion was about, who was at the meal, what food you ate, and explain why the meal was so enjoyable. Make sure you cover all the points that are on the card and make as extensive notes as possible so you can refer to them once you start speaking. The third part is now a two-way discussion with you and the examiner. The questions here will be linked to the previous topic in part 2, but you're now expected to have a discussion on more abstract issues relating to it. So you have to be prepared to listen carefully, respond appropriately, express your opinions and preferences, and above all, make sure that you give reasons. So if we're still talking about eating and food, the examiner might want to know about your attitudes to food. What do you think a healthy diet consists of? Which foods do people in your country prefer? They might also want to ask you, do you think children should be taught about healthy diets and cooking at school? Or they might go on to food aid and think about what can be done to prevent poor people in the world going hungry. Should rich countries help poor countries with more than just food? So, as it said before, these are much more abstract issues and need you to start thinking about how you're going to answer them.